Hey everybody, this is Astrology TV. It is Breaking the Cage. Give me just a second. You know the drill. If you've been following us for any amount of time or following me directly, I always want to get it posted out real fast over to my own page and pages, and then I might jump right back in here. Because let me tell you, Lady Stars on Fire, to that group, Shaman Gateways. All right, let me throw this one out. All right, guys, wow, and just wow. Sipping my drinking, let me get my incense burning, because I'm gonna get deep on you here. I'm about to go really deep. really deep. And this is good, though. Let me hit comments so I can see them. Hey, Kima. Normally, I don't ever mention anybody because once I start channeling and getting into everything, if I break that, I'll get myself confused. Well, every once in a while, something brings my attention, and since I just realized I wasn't on comments, I'm switching it over. Look, this is for May 22nd through the 28th. Before I get any further, though, please, I always say, if you've been following the Matrix Mind Media for any amount of time, Matt is always doing everything off of donation. Subscribe to some of his stuff, so that you can get the subscription fee. It's only like $9 a month or something like that. It ain't much, but every little bit helps for all of us when we're going through our times at trying to help, in Matt's case, bring this conspiracy and the spirituality forward to everybody. In my case, trying to help you understand the energy and work your own way through your own healing. We're always happy to take donations. It's not like we're rich over here. I'll be the first one to say, last week I was saying, that it is not what it seems, and we all get hit. All of us get hit. Literally, I blew my engine in my car this week. So, it's been a week. And I know I'm saying that because I want everybody to be on the same page. I want you to know it's not like this stuff is like that movie Twister from way back in the day where she's like, I watched it hit that house and that house and skip this and skip that, and it felt like it was coming directly after me. No, we're all getting hit in some way or another, and I definitely have confirmation of that as I get in a little bit further. So please, by all means, subscribe, help Matt out, vice versa. If you love these Breaking the Cages and Astrology TV, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anytime we can have anything that we can bring out, we're just trying to help you all on your path as well. With that being said, this is for May 22nd through the 28th. Now, we just came out of the eclipses, all right? We're headed towards the solstice. And I always look at it in the bigger chunks. I don't look at it just in the week, because the way Spirit gives it to me over and over again is they always say, you got to see the bigger picture. If you don't see the bigger picture, then you're only getting a portion of the story. And it really makes a difference when you can understand the bigger picture here that's going on, so that it can help direct you properly. Just like as a shaman, when I'm doing my work, this is going to piss some people off, but this is the truth. My job is to be neutral as much as possible, because in order for me to deal with darker forces, I have to understand the twisted mind of those darker forces in order to work and make the changes and bring the healing forward. You have to always get to the root of the issue. And this is why I say I look at it in like 3-month increments and the direction of how things are going. Then I pull us back to just this week, so I can really project us in the right direction. What is being projected to me, it took me almost a week to get all of that understanding down, is that's why I was posting on the Matrix Mind, silly little worm, because this is a big piece of metamorphosis. This is a big piece of metamorphosis, and truly, just how conscious are you? Because there's a lot more levels of consciousness and a lot more on the wall to see. Spirit always says to me, you know, like when you're trying to show that big picture and you're explaining it to someone, are you telling them to look at the picture on the wall, the frame, and just the pretty picture that's in the frame? Or are they seeing if the wall is, you know, run down? Does it have water damage? Does it need painting? Is there spider webs on the wall? Are you seeing the whole picture or just what's in the frame? And this is what I'm trying to get at. Conscious reality, you got to step back and really see that full big picture right now. A silly little worm. Metamorphosis is 4 different stages of transformation, which is the egg, the lava. I may be saying it wrong though. Pupa, I don't know. Pupa, I don't know. Or the chrysalis, and then the adult stage. 90% of people are still in the lava stage, and this is where they're giving me. For most of you, you're viewing it from the butterfly effect, the cocoon. But hold on, let me step back here. Let me remind you, again, we're moving towards the summer solstice. Before that, you're going to have the full moon come in Sagittarius on the 4th. You're right around the corner. Sagittarius is ruled, technically, it's ruled of that 9th house. It also has in Sagittarius the galactic center. Okay? So this is a very important full moon. Full moons are about releasing, surrendering, letting go, and bringing everything up that, you know, needs to be let go of. The light is being shined upon it. All right? Sagittarius is also connected with that galactic center. It is connected with that source energy, soul energy. It is connected with the manifestation of the oneness, which is both positive and negative, which is bringing us into balance, which is also dealing with what you're dealing with in the solstice. The solstice itself speaks to you about transformation, the transition, again, metamorphosis. It is speaking to us about moving into the next phase and what we have to do to get to that next phase. And this is going from action to nourishment. From that nourishment will come the renewal, will come the manifestation, and come the abundance. But where are you? Are you in the cocoon, or are you the lava? Are you still the caterpillar? Here's where I'm going to throw the twist in. Because we like to see metamorphosis in the idea of the butterfly effect. We like to see the caterpillar, as we know it, will eventually turn into the cocoon, which will turn into the butterfly. That is the chrysalis, like I said. And it is 4 stages of that growth. The chrysalis is often hidden or buried, that cocoon. This is why when you see the butterflies and you see the caterpillars and stuff, it's very rare that you actually see the cocoons, because typically the chrysalis, which would be the cocoon, you know, what is happening inside of that cocoon, keeping it protected, is usually placed in like on the underside of a leaf, or it's buried, or it's hidden. The idea is it's hidden for protection. That is a big key point here. You're coming to a full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, higher self, galactic center, light and dark, all of it coming up out of your faces, or into your faces. This is the hidden being brought directly into the light before the birthing. Before we get done with action and we start actually getting into nurturing, before we get into the manifesting and the abundance that comes from that reflection and from that renewal. But what renewal are you taking? I say this all the time. See, because I've been dealing with Beelzebub to help me understand this. Beelzebub is known as, and you guys know who follow me, as a shaman, my job is to stay neutral, because I do have to remove demonic energies. I do have to deal with things that are, on that side of sketchy, that side of, demons and stuff along that line. I have to understand what I'm dealing with. I have to be able to truly work with this energy and comprehend the healing and the lack of the healing and the illness. And this is where Beelzebub is coming in to help me understand this, help me see what is understanding. We like to look at it as the butterfly effect. The fly has the very same effect. Beelzebub is also known as the Prince of Hell, or one of several princes of hell. And he is known as the Lord of the Flies. He also has connection with Baal. Now, hold on, let me have a sip of my drink. He reminds us, not everything is a cute little caterpillar. Before a fly becomes a fly, it's a maggot first. He's reminding us that you're also getting these underdark sides that are coming up. He's reminding us that we are often twisted in our energies, because Beelzebub is considered to be known as destroying humans with their own vices. Okay, with their own vices, their own lack of being immoral. Their levels of being immoral, their levels of not conforming. And what I get really is, because I get a hyena. And that sneaky little, let me see what I can get into, and dirty, and how much trouble can I stir up? That's your vices. Setting your vices on each other to attack each other. Remember, not all things turn into butterflies. Some things turn into flies, and they first began as maggots. And maggots are typically dealt with the rotting energy, dealt with decaying energy, dying energy, filthy energy. And this is what you're seeing from a lot of the negatives that are coming up, is that rot, that decay, the filthiness of our immortality, of our morals, immorals. When you get to that 9th house in Sagittarius, that full moon is dealing directly with your ethics and your morals and your spirituality. Like I said last week, we were being given a lot to do with our promiscuity. I kept saying, how much of a hoe will you be? How much will you sell yourself for the situation? But I wasn't seeing it for the situation as what it was. It's the level of your vices. When is it that, because, somebody else did me wrong, so I'm going to get them back. Were you allowing those vices to play pinball? Ding, 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 ding. And instead of becoming the butterfly effect, you're just getting the maggot to the fly effect. Where are you rebirthing? Where is your renewal? Really evaluate that as you move forward, because that's the biggest, most important piece of information I got for you right now that's coming out of my guides and so forth. Not to mention, Beelzebub is putting it very bluntly. You are no longer in shallow water. You are no longer in the kiddie pool. It's the freaking Shark Tank, baby. And that, because you think you can get away with, there's going to be a bigger that's going to put you in your place. It's a pinball effect. You play the game, something will come back. It's just, will you catch yourself? Or will you play that game? Vices against your immoral conforming versus, do I have Do I have to be right? Do I have to? There's a fine line here. And I'm giving you what I'm being given. Like I said, butterfly effect, maggot versus the fly effect. Now, as I move into the blueprint, guys, not much here has changed. I mean, there has been a little bit of change, but not much has been changing. You still have Chiron and Eris, which is the one I always call Medusa, trouble, toil, strife, and injustice in your head, getting into that hyena energy. I'm going to get them back. You know what? Let me see what kind of shit I can stir up. Chiron and Eris fighting for what is, how do we heal? How do we start a brand new cycle? How do we bring something better? This is going on in that head. This is going on in the brain itself, in the Aries energy. This is a lot to do with that what do I like to call it? Auto brain. Where we're still connected. You're still a machine. You're still connected to the way society has raised you, and breaking that auto brain versus, I'm going to stick it to them. Just a pinball. Starting a new cycle, or just starting another fly cycle. That is directly connected with your Taurus energy, which is going into your throat, your zeal point, and your breathing in general, as well as your hearing, your ears, nose, and throat. You might be extremely in this energy, ears, nose, and throat, extra sensitive right now. Shoulders and so forth, that zeal point, your psychic abilities, your psychic energies, being able to sense energy might be incredibly getting heightened, because for one, Jupiter just moved in for the next year. I mean, I think he's going to retrograde back, but I'm not on top of that at the moment, just to be honest. But he has just moved into Taurus. You've got Jupiter here. You got Uranus still here. You still got Vesta here. You still have the North Node here. And you have Mercury, which now is out of retrograde. So you're looking at 5 planets in Taurus. I mean, it's being jammed literally down your throat, no matter who you are or what sign it is. In your ears, your nose, your throat. I mean, literally, my sensitivity has heightened to a point where I'm tasting other people's food and it's driving me insane, because I'm just around them and I'm like, why am I tasting goulash? You know, this is what I'm trying to say. Your ears, your nose, your throat, your sensitivity, your eyes, seeing the connection. Jupiter is abundance and higher knowledge. All of it in here. Uranus, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom. Vista is the keys of what you need to know with the North Node. The sacrifice and the commitment that helps you move forward by making the changes, speaking the changes, creating the changes, and communication in the throat chakra. Then you have Gemini, which has Juno here, and the sun, directly in the trachea and the esophagus and the lungs and what you're breathing. Like I said, this is all coming in and out through your breathing. Are you breathing in the metamorphosis of the fly and the maggots and the filth and the, you know, the rotted, same old auto brain, negative society energy? Or are you going to rise and have the butterfly effect? Are you the cocoon or are you the maggot? Silly little worm. Just how conscious are you to your moment to moment actions? And just how conscious are you of what your brain is acting upon? Where your brain is giving attention to. If you're giving attention to the things that are of the lower vibration, it's important for you to acknowledge that shit and cut that shit off. Because it's part of your breathing into your manifestation. Like I said last week, this whole energy right now, with as many planets that are here, this is a life force energy. You are creating the next life force manifestation through this metamorphosis. as we're going through and into the solstice? What will you be nurturing? Because you're already doing it. I'm just helping you to see if you need to tweak energies properly so that you don't tweak something you don't want to tweak. Cancer has Venus in it. That's literally sitting on the pancreas. Now we're starting to get into the root chakra, the solar plexus. We're starting to get into, your digestion. I say all the time, Ceres has Virgo in it. Virgo has Ceres in it, which is the nurturing or the neglecting. And it's still in the circulatory energy in general, as well as your digestive energy. What are you circulating? You don't just eat food. You are a product of energy. Your people, places, and things that you are part of in your daily activity, your daily mundane tasks and routines is an energy diet that you are part of. What are you digesting here? Venus and that pancreas, and you have Ceres, nurturing and neglecting, and the digestion, trying to tell you about your relationships. See, because the other thing is, relationships have been under the scope since before 2020. But the way they're being explained to me is they have to get freaking wrecked. They have to be dissected over and over again. They've got to be pulled apart and beaten upon. And the reason for this is not because so many people are still in auto brain, but if you can't dissect yourself, honestly, and get on that right healthy choice energy for yourself, healthy choice diet for yourself, then all they can do is keep bombarding that energy. And right now, we're trying to get to that higher vibration. We're trying to get out of our own skeletons in the closet, as they just put it to me. They're trying to get out of your own hidden cages of yourself where you're still locked up behind it. And the only way we can find that is to beat up on these relationships and see who truly is your tribe and who is just telling you they got your back and never freaking did. Because this is the time for you to truly start seeing yourself, loving yourself, rebranding the spiritual component, as they just said, of who you are. Rebranding it in the sense of what they are saying is where we misuse authentic. And I say misuse because I've been saying for 4 years now, our idea of authentic is still cheap because we're still learning how to truly be us, to truly come back into the shine of our soul self and allow it to be seen. So we're learning how to put all of our components back together, is the way they're explaining it, and value ourselves. You have Mars, Lilith, and Pallas. Pallas is Athena, the warrior goddess. Everybody's heard of Lilith. And Lilith, I often say, has a lot to do with ego. But she also has a lot to do with, you know what? You're right. You are part of the oneness. But you are one part of the oneness. And that one part that is the spark of you that has the right to enjoy this life. You didn't just come back to fix the oneness. You didn't just come back for that. You came back for the experience. And why should it all be hell? Love yourself. Mars is your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team. Pallas, Athena, the warrior goddess, with strategic thinking, is all in the heart. Loving yourself. Because that's the only way you're really going to learn or teach others how to love better and get out of that auto brain idea of what love is by putting yourself first. And then we have, again, that north node, the south node, which is more or less coming right together with Haumea. It's not until, because Haumea moves incredibly slow. So the south node will eventually come on top of Haumea as it starts to move into Libra and leave Scorpio. Leave Sagittarius. Leave Scorpio. Come back into Libra. And it will start to come into this, but not yet. But that energy is still within 10 degrees. So it's still going. Haumea is your collective consciousness. It is. Whoa, look at this conscious reality. Spirit literally just gave me the old man. I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the Transformer movies. And what they literally just gave me was the old Transformer in one of the movies that they activated, and he came back on, and he was so old, the Transformer is walking around with a cane and like farting and falling over, and he's like, I ain't having this shit. No, 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 no. That's what Spirit just gave to me, is what we're dealing with. What we are finding about ourselves is that very same kind of old man energy, but not old man. It's just going, I used to play for the wrong side. Fuck them, I'm not doing it anymore. I realized I have a choice. That's what they're giving me, as for us understanding ourselves and truly growing and blossoming. Like I said, it's the metamorphosis. Are you the cocoon? Are you the caterpillar going into the cocoon? Or are you a maggot and you're shedding? Sorry, we're shedding all that filth, that rot. There's still so much rot that we all are fighting off. This is making sure we're moving into the butterfly, not into the fly, to recycle it all over again. But they are showing me that our conscious energy is coming into the rebirth, into that south node of everything that we've always been told from that auto brain, from that auto relationship, from that auto idea of this is acceptable and this is not. And understand that full moon that's coming around the corner on June 4th, because the solstice is on, what day is the solstice? The solstice, I think, is on the 21st. You're going to have a new moon on the 17th, of June. But we're right around the corner from the full moon in Sagittarius on the 4th. And it's going to cross over Haumea and that south node right before it goes into that full moon energy on the 3rd. So you're going to really get a good whammy of hello, Dolly. Of everything that you're not seeing is going to be boom. Is it going to be rotted energy that you're having to get rid of? I'm just giving you what I'm getting. Don't play the vices this week. It's a pinball. The vices is a setup to help you fight each other and keep you separated from the growth. That is nothing more than ego. And like I said, you've had all this energy also taking place. That south node slowly moving back into Libra, which is really getting into the hips, going through the hips and the thighs. You have that Capricorn, you have Pluto, which is in Aquarius, moving back into the knees, coming up right around the corner. There's no reason in the world. Saturn and Neptune are still in the feet in Pisces. There's no reason, unless you are completely healed, for you to not be having problems with your legs in some form or fashion, because this is the lower chakras that I always say are the lower illness chakras, with grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, inferiorities, jealousies, vices, push and shove because I can't get ahead, because I can't be heard, fighting with God. These are all part of the energies that are showing themselves right now, because it's testing you. Where are you really? Just how conscious are you? Are you seeing the big picture? When I get into the astrology this week, you've got that south node. I'm going to start off with some unpredictables. And I always say it unpredictable. I don't do astrology the way everybody else or most astrologers do it. I was taught astrology pretty much through spirit. And they're the ones who taught me how to see it from the perspectives in which I do, as well as I see aspects in a different way than most astrologers do. It's just the way I do it. I hope that it helps you. But the South Node, like I said, is still right here within 10 degrees of Haumea. That's the 8th house and the 7th house. That's the rebirthing, renewal of relationships, or the end of them. It's the birthing relationships of our own selves. Is the rules, walls, and boundaries that set the guidelines for the life we want to have and the people we want in them. And it is having incredible, unpredictable energy with the sun, which is now in Gemini, Jekyll and Hyde. And I always say the important kicker here with Gemini, the twins, is understanding Jekyll and Hyde. Spirit has put it to me many times. The twins are perfect in themselves, but every sign has a problem. And the problem is they're one of the twins, or they're the other one of the twins. But the twins are twins. They come together. And what I mean by that is Gemini is typically all logic or all emotion. There's either no logic going on, full on emotion, or no emotion going on and only logic. The proper thing is they have to have an equal balance, the twins do. Feminine and masculine, light and dark, seeing the true balance of everything that's up close and personal in your life. That's your siblings, your up close personal family and friends. What is really important to you. It's also your communication house. The sun is illuminating just what's in your face. Just what's important to you right up here in your face, and just how important is it with this relationship that you have with yourself. How is that working out? How is that working out with the relationships with everybody else? See, it's in unpredictable energy because that all depends on your ability to control your emotions, to control that cocoon or that maggot energy. Butterfly effect or fly effect. This is your ego and versus your true power of yourself. That energy is also having very unpredictable energy with Neptune. I mean, of course it is. Neptune's the 12th house. All of our skeletons in the closet, where we still lie to ourselves, where we're still chained to the idea that that's the only way, and we're comfortable with that. It's comfort zone. But it's not changing. It's not fixing. It's where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. Like I said, we are, like I was being told by Beelzebub, you are not in the kiddie pool anymore. This is the Shark Tank. This is the Shark Tank, and there will always be a bigger shark that will call you on your shit. And it's time that those sharks start seeing or showing that I will call you on that shit. And I'm giving it to you that way because, again, that's the vices. Knowing your power, standing in your power, standing in your emotions, not losing your cool is what keeps you in your power. You have that sun, I mean, you have the Saturn, which is also in that 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet. 12th house is what we haven't healed. It's our comfort zone. But Saturn is the rules, the walls, the boundaries, making the changes, setting it into firm reality, realizing we're not in the kiddie pool, we are in the Shark Tank, and we must act accordingly. And it is having conversations with Mars and with Uranus with very unpredictable energy. Will the heart give in? Will you love yourself, or will you just keep the comfort zone? Will you stand in your independence, or will you allow somebody else Allow somebody else to dictate how life should be. My mother this morning was watching TV before I left for work. And there's an old TV show. I don't know if it's still on, but she was watching it because I was watching it on, I don't know, Hulu or whatever. It's like the show is called Say Yes to the Dress. And it's like the bride and the bride's family, the mom and the husband's mom and, friends or sisters. They're all going to help the bride pick out her dress. And on the show, it's the same thing every single time. Nobody can agree. They're all telling her how it's the worst dress. It doesn't look good on her, blah, blah, blah. The bride is in tears. She's having trouble trying to pick out what she wants. And sometimes she gets what she wants. Sometimes she doesn't. This is what I'm trying to say. If you are incapable of picking out your own wedding dress, because everybody else is dictating to you what your life should be. If you are so easily manipulated that you are having problems with this kind of energy and not able to tell your family and friends to shove it, this is what I want on my wedding day, then you got no business getting married, because that's a materialistic item. You're getting married to a human being. This is just my opinion, but this is what I'm trying to show you what this energy is. 12th house is healing, making the changes or not, coming into Neptune. Fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. It can be unpredictably, powerfully good energy, or unpredictably, let me keep you in the dark because you chose it. You also have Lilith, which is having very unpredictable energy with the sun. The heart illuminating the communication. Either your mouth is outright going to be saying what you need to say in your fire, feeling your power. You know what? I feel strong and good, and this is what's going to happen. Or it's going to be like the fire was put out. It all depends on where your free will is. Do you have your power? Or are you going to get caught in those vices? And that, pinball game. The manifestation has already started. The rebirthing has already started. I'm just giving you the cues of, some of you might need to pull the reins back and realize I got to make some corrections here real fast to get what you truly are wanting. Then you have Mercury and Venus. Communication in that second house. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, liberated or not. The difference is somebody else is you're the possession of somebody else. I just do, yes, sir. Versus the fourth house, your inner emotional security. Can you trust if you feel secure? And can you trust if what you're doing is actually backing up what makes you trust and feel that inner emotional security? Can you trust in yourself? Can you feel it and believe it? Or are you doing it because you don't know the right answer? Because if you're doing it because you don't know the right answer, I'm telling you right now, that's the wrong answer. Coming from a person who has to deal with the demonic energies and deal with the illnesses and understand both the positive and the negative and be in the neutral so you can find the truth. The fourth house is the roots to creating a strong foundation, and it starts with your inner emotional security. If you are lying to yourself about your inner emotional security, you are creating roots that are going to fall and fail. Don't do that. The power is there. You just got to believe in you. And you have to communicate what needs to be done by standing in your power, your own self-worth, your own value. Don't wait for somebody to give it to you, because they're not going to. You also have Jupiter there. Remember, Jupiter is now in that second house, along with the North Node, Vista, Mercury. That is a loaded second house of Taurus. And it can be very bullheaded. Again, Are you speaking from your soul sovereignty? Or are you speaking from animal in a cage who I'm going to take the control back, but you really are not in control? Inner emotional security. If you don't feel it, question yourself as to why. What is keeping you from feeling that? Not in an ego way, not in a pointing fingers at this person or that person way. What is it that you're not giving yourself to believe in you? Because that's where you need to be. Now you have some very positive. I always say that we have the sextiles in astrology always means the opportunities are there, but they never last. That's why they're sextiles. The opportunity is there, but you better do something about it while the opportunity is there to be seeked out. And this is Pluto in that 11th house. It is where your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions originally can be brought into life. You only have this energy of Pluto standing here until next year, until June 11th. June 11th, it's moving back into Capricorn, where it's been for the last 30 years. The light has been switched on of your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, of your tribes. Are your tribes the right people? Groups, memberships, committees, the outer world? Is this outer world the right committees, right groups, right memberships to support the dreams, the ambitions? This is Aquarius. This is the place to step into the dream. This is the star card, so to speak, and you don't get the star unless you went through hellfire, until you've already learned how to get this way. You've learned I ain't taking that shit anymore, just like Spirit was putting in my head, that old man transformer who's like, I'm not going to be on the bad side anymore. I finally learned I can choose. You have that Pluto energy, which is speaking directly with Neptune, giving you the power to go, yes, I can choose. I don't have to have my comfort zone be something that doesn't work. I don't have to do this over and over again. I can evaluate what didn't work, and I can have balls. Illusion and delusion. Fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. It's time to step into reality. It's time to step into the consciousness and see the bigger picture. This is positively, wonderfully great energy. It is speaking to the sun that'll illuminate how you're speaking and show the world. And then it is speaking directly with Mars into the heart. All you got to do is follow your heart and take the action now, so that as we come into that solstice, you're actually moving into nurturing energy. All you're doing is nurturing it there, because you've already stepped into the right direction, and all you have to do is keep walking. You have the sun and Jupiter. The sun is, again, in that communication house, everything that's up close and personal, speaking to your liberty, your integrity, speaking to your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and value. Being the possession of yourself, or allowing somebody else to dictate and you to be the possession of what they deem is right. Like I said, if you don't have the balls to tell somebody else that that's not the wedding dress I want, you shouldn't be getting married. This is saying the sun will illuminate the communication, stepping into that Jupiter abundance of self-worth, but you have to believe it. And it will open up the door for you. You have Lilith and Venus, Lilith is great, getting along great with Venus in the 4th house, your inner emotional security. She's telling you, Venus is not love. She is all about telling you where it is good for you and where it is not. Venus will tell you how to caress the situation, how to communicate the situation, how to manipulate it with words. But she will also tell you who lied to you, who beat you, who abused you, who hurt you. And she will be the reason why you're crying, because she knows how you feel, and she's going to make the heart bleed, because she's going, no. These are positive energies. Venus is your emotions and your sensitivity. in your inner emotional security, telling you the truth about your heart, what you want, what makes you tick. Why do you get up every single day? What do you want to be a part of? Are you doing any of that? It's time to speak it. It is speaking directly to that Uranus energy and Taurus. Independence. The only way you're going to get it is to claim it. Step back into it, which is then speaking with Chiron, the wounded healer, actually creating the beginning of a new cycle of nurturing. It's here, but you've got to walk it. You've got Saturn, which is getting along great with Jupiter, the North Node, and Mercury. It is able for you to set the new directions, speak how you want it, charm your way into getting it, the new rules, walls, and boundaries right now. If you choose to speak it, stand in your power. You don't have to come out like you're going to give it to me, but you can make this happen right now. The thing is, you have some major challenges. You have, like I've been saying, like a grand cross. Excuse me. Grand crosses are like a whole lot of squares in opposition. And what that means is the energies are fighting. They can't agree on how to do the best thing for the situation. They can't agree. And what you have going on here in this grand cross is 5 planets all fighting, and guess what? Every single one of them is on a cusp. They are not just pulling in the energy of that sign. They're pulling in the energy of 2 signs and then fighting, making that such a more powerful argument. Challenge is, like I said, you have Jupiter and that North Node, which is in Taurus. Right there as it's come in off of Aries, Jupiter, just starting to get settled in here with the North Node, as North Node's trying to get moved out. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, abundance, taking your power back, liberation versus somebody else controlling you. I've been saying it from the beginning. If you're not in your power, someone or something else will be. And this does deal with relationships and battered relationships. This is standing in the power of the love, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and where your manifestation begins. It is not getting along with Pluto. Those tribe members, groups of memberships, the committee, the outer world. I said we are going to keep slamming down on these relationships until, and this is what I was saying from Beelzebub, we're going to keep slamming on these relationships until they destroy each other or you learn to love yourself. One of the two. So that's simple. The light's still on. Pluto is still in Aquarius, still getting a chance at going, let me come into really what goals, dreams, ambitions matter to me. What are the right tribe? Where are these people telling me they love me, and they do, versus the ones that are just full on talking shit and I keep falling for it? This energy is fighting with Mars in the heart. Your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your inner action and aggression with Lilith and with Athena, the warrior goddess, strategic thinking. See the truth. See the truth in the heart. Are you being manipulated by somebody else? Or are they truly helping you grow? Do they truly love you? Or are they just keeping you on a string, whether it's work-related or relationship-related? Versus, again, that South Node and Haumea. The freaking consciousness, open your eyes to see the true picture. The fighting here is very difficult. There's a lot to hear, to see, that is still rotted truths that have to be thrown out. A lot of filth that still has to be thrown out. If you want to become the butterfly, you got to get rid of the maggots, or you're just going to get a fly. The sun is not getting along with Venus, your inner emotional security, because it is showing you the truth. It is going to hurt. The communication, some of what you're going to hear is going to hurt. You're going to have the sun is also fighting Chiron. It's Chiron, Venus, and the sun. It's a specific chain. So this is, you've been told it before. You've been told it in this direction. You've been told it in that direction. You've been shown it before, but you don't want to see it because it's a chain reaction. It's a comfort zone that you've gotten used to in one form or another. The communication, the inner emotional security versus all you have to do is make the change. But why? I'm comfortable here. I know exactly what kind of hell I'm going to get. I know exactly, auto brain, what to expect. Versus the sun is also fighting with Saturn, stepping out of that and into new rules, walls, and boundaries, making the changes, which then is fighting Chiron, the wounded healer, the beginning of the cycle, because it's still holding on to that Eris. Like I said, it's a lot of that Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies energy. Mercury and Neptune. Fantasy versus reality. You're not in the kiddie pool anymore. The big shark's gonna attack, and he's gonna tell you. You're gonna feel the bite. Whether it's in the gut, or because it was actually said to your face, or in some form, that threat's gonna be there. It's coming from the ability of taking your power away. Because that's where the manifestation is in your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And if you don't have it, someone else is going to take it. It's time to get in the big shark tank. Stop swimming with the baby fishes. You do have a couple trines, though. Neptune is getting along great with Mars. If you can listen to your heart, you can make anything happen. All you got to do is stand by what you want to be. Stand by what makes you tick. If what makes you tick is, like I said, being an artist and you haven't had time to paint, this would be the week to be like, guess what? Screw you. I'm going to do some of my painting this week. Get back into that energy. You need to have some me time. What makes me enjoy being here on this planet and makes me want to continue to live and breathe and get up every day. Are you getting that? Listen to that heart. Follow it. You have Chiron and Lilith, the wounded healer, again with the heart. The fire has to start with you. If you don't feel that fire and excitement of your soul flame of being here to come into the power of you, to come into the brimstone, the sulfur. Those of you who've been following me for a long time know my guides have been like, you are brimstone. You are titanium. Nothing can come between you and it. Nothing can destroy you as long as you remember, I create my reality. I am the most powerful thing here. So let me do some of what I want. Then I will love me and love my life, and I'll do better with everything else. It's important. Remember that. I'm not positive. I do apologize. I may be back next week. I may talk to Matt and come on at a different time on a different day. My mother is going back in to the hospital, and I've got a whole lot of things going on. I think it's next week. It might be the week after. I have to double check. But one of these weeks I might be changing up some stuff because it will be directing according to when my mom goes back in for another heart surgery. So I'm giving you a warning of that, just in case it is that weekend. Actually, it might be the one after. But I'm throwing that out there for you guys to know in advance. And then also, I love you. And if you are wanting any sessions with me or anything, or wanting to know anything about my essential oils or any of my deals, all of the information is in the description box, or message me directly. Love you guys. Bye.